Hey everybody, welcome to Sold Out Live. Maisie, you are not dumb.
No.
I don't think there was any sound with it, so you're okay with that. Looks like everybody's getting checked in, so I'll wait a few minutes for that to happen. Good to have you guys all here on episode 4, I think it is, of Sold Out Live. Hopefully the technology is improving as we are moving along with all of that. In a few minutes here, I'm going to show you guys some of the pictures that a lot of you guys sent me of things that you guys made. I don't think I'm going to show any up here on the screen like that. I've got them all right here loaded up into the computer. So in the future, if you've got stuff, send it to me beforehand. If you send me anything tonight, I'll just try to load it up for next week. But it looks like you guys have been busy. Looks like Savvy's here. Also, and Kiva's here. Nice. I was also thinking maybe it's a sign of the effect of quarantine that Tram is actually claiming Tramalama now. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Glad it looks like a hostage video to you, Aaron. All right. Hey, let me show you some of the stuff that you guys have been making. I think Logan made this. Otherwise, he just decided to send me a picture of a whip. Not exactly sure. But Logan, if you did indeed make that, that's pretty sweet. In fact, Logan sent a lot of pictures of things that Logan made. Logan's been very busy. This is something Charlie made. Looks like a giraffe in the window there. Okay, evidently Logan did not make that. Maybe he just got it as a gift. He's excited. So there's a giraffe that Charlie made and put in the window. Here's a Millennium Falcon that Logan did indeed make. Here's some other Lego stuff that Logan made, kind of small, but I had to do it because there's some bigger pictures in here. So lots of Lego action going on over at the Block House, which actually makes a lot of sense. Lego at the blocks. Here's some more Lego action at the blocks. A little bit more here. Another scene he made. All right, this is something Hope Benor, all the way over in Grand Rapids, Michigan, worked on. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a painting inside a window frame, so it's pretty sweet. This is a drawing of a Mountain Dew can, I think, that Ashton made. Good job, Ashton. Very proud of you. And then one more piece of art by Logan. So Logan made this, and it's Two-Face. So thank you guys so much for sending in pictures of your stuff. Keep sending that in, and whatever I get between now and next week, I will post on here for all of us. So, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here. All right, we're going to be playing a game in a minute or two here. And so we'll just wait a little bit longer for people to check in. For clarification, for those of you who don't know, if you're watching the live chat, Jared Block is actually Logan. Oh yeah, Gamer 1.70 is actually Jared. So that's not confusing at all, but we'll roll with it. All right. So this game will require that you text in your responses, and it will generally be A or B. This game is called Why Does This Exist? Why does this exist? So, you'll be presented with a picture of an uncommon tool, object, or device along with 2 possible explanations for why that item exists. Your job is to figure out the object's true purpose. Why does this exist? All right, so first one, take a look at the picture there, and you will text me 1 or 2 for your answer. 1, this is called a Halligan bar. It's a forcible entry tool used by police and firefighters to bust into hard-to-access places. Or 2, this is called a Platts sower. It's a gardening tool used primarily in arid climates to prepare tough soil for planting small crops. 1 or 2. Give you a couple seconds to text in your answers. Is this a Halligan bar or is this a Platts sower? Maybe you have seen one of these before. Maybe you've used one of these before. All right, Charlie says she thinks it's called a Platts sower. Maisie thinks it's a Halligan bar. Gavin and Cooper also think that it is a Platts sower. Jake and Aaron think it is a Halligan bar. All right. Danae thinks it's a Halligan bar. Aaron Berkland says it exists because Chuck Norris allows it to, which is absolutely right. So Akiva, Danae, all of you have checked in. Let us find out what it is. Hopefully. It is a Halligan bar. Those of you who guessed 1 guessed correctly. It's a forcible entry tool used by police and firefighters to bust into hard-to-access places. So, all of you who guessed that correctly, give yourselves a point. All of you who guessed incorrectly, just take a look at yourself and say, better luck next time, buddy. All right, next one. Why does this exist? This is a common baby toy that was created to teach geometrical concepts to small children and for chewing on during teething. Or this is a cable manager that separates and organizes your electronic cables. Again, this is either 1, a common baby toy that was created to teach geometrical concepts to small children and for chewing on during teething, or it is a cable manager that separates and organizes your electronic cables. All right. If you think it's 1, a common baby toy, text 1 to me. If you think it's a cable manager, text a 2 my way. All right, Danae chimes in thinking it's number 2, a cable manager. Gavin thinks it's number 1, a baby toy. Jake, Cooper, Micah, Charlie, Maisie, Arthur, and Kiva are all in on number 2 here. And Tracy and Dana. And yeah, so let's find out, folks. What is it? It is a cable manager that separates and organizes your electronic cables. I guess I would not recommend then sharing this with your child, especially your infant child or your 6th grade child. All right, so if you guessed 2, give yourself a point. If you guessed 1, tell yourself better luck next time. I still love you. Your value is not based on whether you get these right or not. All right, next one. Why does this exist? Either 1, this is known as an automobile blood pressure reader that checks for pressure and spacing in your car's shocks. Or 2, this is called an inflatable shim, and it holds a door or window in place while you work on a project. All right. So either 1, this is an automobile blood pressure reader that checks for pressure and spacing in your car's shocks, Or 2, this is an inflatable shim, and it holds a door or window in place while you work on a project. And I will remind those of you who are involved in the live chat, everybody gets to see what you are typing in there. So let's keep it clean and above reproach. All right, a bunch of you are chiming in. Charlie and Arthur say it's number 1. Jake, Kiva, Micah, Gavin, Danae, Maisie, Cooper, all are saying it is number 2, an inflatable shim. Well then, let's find out. It is an inflatable shim. If you said inflatable shim number 2, you get a point. Congratulations. If not, well, better luck next time. Do not use this to check the pressure and spacing in your car's shocks. 1, you will look ridiculous. 2, it probably wasn't meant for that. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Is this 1, a double-sided fishing magnet that's used for finding metal objects, or 2, a small weight that's added to a fishing line to help control casting? So is it 1, a fishing magnet, or 2, a small weight? Is it number 1, a fishing magnet, or 2, a weight for your fishing line? What do you think? Text in 1 or 2 with your answer. Danae's in first, thinking it's number 1. Gavin, Kiva, Maisie, Cooper, all agreed number 1. Arthur, so far, is the only one who thinks it's number 2. All right. Well, what is it? It is a double-sided fishing magnet. Have any of you watched those videos of people magnet fishing? Looks pretty cool. My neighbor's got one and says that he's done it down by the bridge a couple times, which sounds really fun. It is the thing to do, folks. The thing to do. All right, next thing. Why does this exist? This is called an adze. It's a carving tool that's used to smooth wood for woodworking. Or 2, this is called a zade. It's a demolition aid that's used to shave paint and residue off of drywall. So is it 1 or 2? Text in your answer, 1 or 2. Is it an adze for smoothing wood with woodworking? Or a zade, which is a demolition aid? Jared, why does it not surprise me that you magnet fish? That's awesome. All right, Maisie is telling us she thinks it's number 1. Gavin thinks it's 2. Kiva thinks it's 2. Everyone else seems to think it's 1. Cooper thinks it's 2. Let's find out what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called an adze. It's 1. So, if you got the answer right, give yourself a point. If you're Gavin, don't give yourself a point because you haven't really gotten any of these right yet. Have you, Gavin? It's okay. School's out. Well, not really. Ads. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron, do you have one of these? And if so, how big is yours? I'm guessing it's monster size and you built it yourself, probably. And how deep would that go into the area of flesh above your knee? That's the other question. Aaron? All right, let's check our next one. Why does this exist? This is called a Garby. it's a simple tool that's used to space out objects during woodworking and crafting? Or is it 2, a derby, which is a simple tool used to flatten concrete? So is it a garby, a simple tool used to space out objects during woodworking and crafting? Or is it a derby, that is a simple tool used to flatten concrete? Text in your answers. Is it either a garby or a derby? Garby or derby? Garby or derby? All right, so far, overwhelmingly, people are saying it's a derby. Number 2. Charlie says it's a 1. Kiva and Micah say 2. Cooper says 2. Ben says 2. All right, let's find out. It is a derby, a simple tool used to flatten concrete. Good job. If you got that one correct, you can give yourself a point, and that includes Gavin. Good job, Gavin. Everybody in the Losa household, turn to Gavin right now and say, good job, Gavin. He needs the affirmation. All right, let's check out the next one. Number 1, is this a talking toilet paper spindle? Or 2, is this a portable carbon monoxide detector? Is this either number 1, a talking toilet paper spindle, or 2, a portable carbon monoxide detector? Text in your answers. Talking toilet paper spindle. I couldn't imagine what it would say, but nevertheless. Number 1, a talking toilet paper spindle, or 2, a portable carbon monoxide detector. All right, Gavin says 1, Arthur says 2, Jake says 1, Kiva says 2, Micah says 2, Daniel says 2, Aaron gives us a strong 1. All right. Lots of votes coming in on this one. And it's pretty mixed. Well, let's find out. This is a talking toilet paper spindle. So if you guessed 1 on this one, give yourself a point. If you guessed 2, then you are wrong. Don't give yourself a point, but give yourself a pep talk. So, talking toilet paper spindle. If you guessed number 2, there you got it wrong. If you guessed number 1, you got it right. All right, let's see what's next. Number 1, you wear this small device on the sides of your head, and it uses electrical impulses to help you feel relaxed and calm. Or 2, these are special hearing aids that can interact wirelessly with any smartphone, that even when there's no data or Wi-Fi available. So is it 1, something you wear on your head to relax you and calm you? Or 2, is it a special kind of hearing aid that interacts with your cell phone? Text in your answer, 1 or 2. One for a small device on the side of your head that uses electrical impulses to help you feel relaxed and calm, which feels really nice. Or the special hearing aids that work with your phone. Micah and Arthur are voting for number 1. Gavin is voting for number 2. Charlie, number 1. Kiva, number 1. Dan, 1. Sarah Benor's in at 2. Welcome, Sarah. Maisie says 1. Cooper says 1. Ben says 1. All right. Let's take a look. It is a small device that you wear on the side of your head, and it uses electrical impulses to help keep you calm. Does anybody have someone in your life who would be blessed by getting one of those as a gift? Maybe especially now, maybe mom, now that she's stuck at home with some of you guys all day long. Maybe you want to look them up on eBay. I have no idea what they're called, but you might want to get one. All right. What is this? This handheld tool can be filled with oil and is used to cut glass with perfect precision. That's option number 1. Option number 2, the point of this fine pressure razor can be applied to wood or metal to mark where a nail or screw should be inserted. Number 1, is this a handheld tool that can be filled with oil and used to cut glass with perfect precision? Or is it number 2, a fine pressure razor that can be applied to wood or metal to mark where a nail or screw should be inserted? If you think it is for cutting glass, you can text 1 to me. If you think it is something that is used for inserting a nail or screw into wood, go ahead and text it 2. And by the way, I didn't tell you my phone number. If you don't have it, 763-458-8519. That's 763-458-8519. All right, a lot of you have texted in. Ben and Maisie think it's 1. Sarah Benor, Arthur Nangus, Charlie Loso, Gavin Loso think it's 2. Kiva, Jake, Cooper, Dan, and Micah all think number 1. So we're pretty split on this one. It is a handheld tool that can be filled with oil and is used to cut glass with perfect precision. So if you guessed 1, you get a point for that. If you guessed 2, you don't. And that's just the way it is. I gotta get me one of those. I don't know what I'd use it for, but it sounds awesome. All right. Why does this exist? This is option number 1. This is called a freight point. It's filled with sand or other granule material to create sharp impressions on a surface. Or 2, this is called a plumb bob. Since ancient Egypt, it has been used as a leveler to indicate whether a surface is horizontal. So number 1, is this a freight point filled with sand or other granule materials to create sharp impressions on a surface? Or 2, a plumb bob. Since ancient Egypt, it has been used as a leveler to indicate whether a surface is horizontal. Once you think you know your answer, text 1 or 2 to me at 763-458-8519. So far, everybody thinks or is in agreement with each other. Aaron, I'm wondering if you have one of these too. That would be terrible to drop this on somebody. Charlie and Jake think that it's 1. Ben and Dan are going for 2. Gavin is going for 2. Well, folks, this is a plumb bob. Many a pyramid were built using this, I would imagine. A plumb bob. In fact, you can still, or people still use these because they're genius. An apple bob, is that what you call it, Aaron? All right, you said number 1, you don't get a point. If you said number 2, you do. So add that to your point total if you got it right. Keep your pencil or pen down if you didn't get it right. And that is it. So add up your score. I was so wrapped up in this, I don't even remember how many of these we did. So if you got 5 points or more, raise your hand. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. Ben says his dad has one. We're going to have to find... Tracy wants us to find one of those calming things for her. So, Tracy, I know Sonny won't be thrilled about this, but I will go on Amazon and look for one a little bit later, see if we can find one. I won't order it unless it's cheap. We'll see if we can send you a link. All right. Gavin says we did 10. So how many out of 10? Jake says he got 9 out of 10. By the way, Gavin got 4 points. Cooper got 7. Charlie got 5. All right, good job, everyone. I'll let you take a deep breath. You want the toilet paper roll, huh? Nice. All right, we are going to get fired up here for the initials game. And I'm going to turn my microphone down a little bit because Sonia says she's got headphones on and she hears everything. So we'll try to help her out with that. All right, so the initials this week are DP. DP. And for the Bjornruds, the answer is not ever going to be Daryl Peterson tonight. But DP are our initials. So once you think you have the answer, text in your answer to me with the initials D as in dog, P as in pigeon. All right, here we go. Began in 2012 on a farm. Began in 2012 on a farm. That's our first clue for our first thing, initials DP. Wrong, Jake. Second, from Velva, North Dakota. From Velva, North Dakota. The initials are DP from Velva, North Dakota. Clue number 3. Target picked them up in 2018. Target picked them up in 2018. Again, the initials are DP. DP. Just added a new flavor for the first time ever. Just added a new flavor for the first time ever. Nope, Arthur, it is not dairy products, but that's a good guess. How many clues have I given? 4? Okay. Once a Midwest thing, now you can get them everywhere, including Meyer in... Hey, Maisie, you got it. Good job, Maisie. Ben and Jake, you're wrong. I can tell you that what you guys guessed has been around a lot longer than that. I believe this is maybe the last clue. I don't remember. Anyway, ranges in size from 1.5 ounces to 2 pounds. Ranges in size from 1.5 ounces to 2 pounds. Nope, Sarah, that is not correct. You'll find that out in about 15 seconds. Michael, remember everybody can see what you are typing. Watch your language. Last clue. It's more about the seasoning than the pretzel. It's more about the seasoning then the pretzel. Give you a second here. That was your last clue. More about the seasoning than the pretzel. And Maisie is the only one who I have seen here who got it right. It is Dot's Pretzels. Yes, I actually have some of these on the shelf in my office, which was what got me thinking about these initials. And I happen to be fasting today, so this was hard, but I made it. All right, so if you got that one right, give yourself a point. Good job, good job, good job. All right, next one. Initials DP. Played football for the University of Tulsa. Played football for the University of Tulsa. That is clue number 1 for our next question in the initials game. DP. Played football at the University of Tulsa. This person does not actually have a license to practice. Does not have a license to practice. Co-founded Courtroom Sciences, Inc. in 1990. Co-founded Courtroom Sciences, Inc. in 1990. All right, clue number 4. The TV show Bull is based on his experiences. The TV show Bull is based on his experiences. All right, next clue. Entered the weight loss business in 2003 with a supplement brand called Shape It Up. Whoop, whoop. All right, clue, I believe number 5. Once a weekly guest on Oprah. Once a weekly guest on Oprah. Some of you are texting in, and those of you who are texting, you're doing a good job. Nice. His doctorate is in psychology. His doctorate is in psychology. Logan, I should probably tell you, you are texting to a group text right now. Might want to fix that. And the answer is Dr. Phil. A bunch of you chimed in, texting, or if you were Sarah Benor, you typed it into the chat. Dr. Phil. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he does not actually have a license to practice psychology, though he is a doctor. So figure that one out. Evidently, with his show, they have to jump through all types of hoops to make sure people don't think he's actually providing psychological services. And I did not know the one about the TV show Bull being based on him. Wouldn't have guessed that. All right. So if you guessed Dr. Phil, give yourself a point. If you didn't, sorry. Let's go to the next one. Initials DP. It was created in 1880s, Waco, Texas. Created in the 1880s in Waco, Texas. According to one promotion, the times for it were 10, 2, and 4 o'clock. 10, 2, and 4 o'clock are the times for this, according to one promotion. Clue number 3. In the 1960s, it was popular to serve it hot with lemon slices during the winter. In the 1960s, it was popular to serve it hot with lemon slices during the winter. Clue number 4. Forrest Gump's favorite. He had 15 of them in the White House. Forrest Gump's favorite. He had 15 of them in the White House. Some of you are sending me some texts, and good job. You got it. Current slogan, one taste and you get it. Current slogan, one taste and you get it. Clue number 6. Guns N' Roses blamed them for ruining their release of Chinese Democracy. Guns N' Roses blamed them for ruining their release of Chinese Democracy, and I love this clue because there's a good chance half of you don't know what half of those words mean. Guns N' Roses, who? Who is that? Chinese Democracy? I thought it was a communist country. Alright, last clue. 23 flavors. 23 flavors. Give you a second on this one. 23 flavors. And the answer is Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. I actually think I might be interested in finding out how it tastes heated with lemons in it. That might actually be kind of good. I don't know. If you have tried to drink Dr. Pepper heated with lemon in it, then let me know. I'd like to find out how it is going. All right. If you got that one right, then we're going on to the next one. Her family refers to her as Aunt Granny. Her family refers to her as Aunt Granny. Second clue. Inducted into at least 16 halls of fame. Inducted into at least 16 halls of fame. Hold on a second. So that's the second clue. Third clue. Godmother to Miley Cyrus. Godmother to Miley Cyrus. Some of you have got it already. Good for you. Fourth clue. In 2015, a newly discovered species of fungus was named after her. In 2015, a newly discovered species of fungus was named after her. Quite an honor there. Clue number next. Has received 46 Grammy nominations. 46 Grammy nominations. Next clue. She has received the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. Has received the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. And then last clue for this person, recently joined with For King and Country to sing a version of their song, God Only Knows. And most of you have chimed in and gotten this right. It was probably the Miley Cyrus clue. It is Dolly Parton. Nice job, everyone. If you got that, you can give yourself a point. I gotta clear all these because you guys were all in on this. Nice job. All right. Next one. And I think this is the last one. From Beloit, Wisconsin is our first clue. From Beloit, Wisconsin. Second clue. Received parents' permission to drop out of high school to pursue dream career. Received parents' permission to drop out of high school to pursue dream career. Third clue. Started out racing go-karts. Started out racing go-karts. Clue number 4. Has appeared in 14 Super Bowl commercials, which is more than any other celebrity. Has appeared in 14 Super Bowl commercials, which is more than any other celebrity. Clue number 5. Owns a vineyard and an athleisure collection. I know some of you own your own athleisure collections, but you didn't. You had to buy yours. This person did not. So, clue number 6. First woman to win an IndyCar Series event. First woman to win an IndyCar Series event. And the final clue. Almost got stuck in Peru with Aaron Rodgers when the quarantine started. Almost got stuck in Peru with Aaron Rodgers when the quarantine started. Maisie's got the right answer. Give you all just a few more seconds. No Googling on this. Jake, you were wrong. Quite wrong. And the correct... Gavin's got it. I think Cooper's got it, but his fingers hit the wrong spots. Danica Patrick is the correct answer. Danica Patrick. So if you got Danica Patrick correct, good job. Total up your score. It should be out of 5. Good job on all of that for all of you. We're going to go real quick to asking the how are you question. What have you guys been up to? The one I really want to press into is how have you served someone else in the last week? How have you served someone else in the last week? So we've got our disciple making priorities, studying scripture to know God, prayerfulness, extravagant love, and life as worship. And in life as worship, one of the things that's an aspect of that is serving others. And so, if you want to share with us, maybe there is some way, cool story about you getting to serve somebody this last week. Maisie says that she took the dog out, which was really nice for her to finally do. Thank you, Maisie. And she, this last week, she's been doing spending a lot of time playing Minecraft with Ben and Ashton. So that's really nice of her. Hey, Mason, good to see you, buddy. Kiva did art live with a friend. That sounds awesome. Charlie let the cat out of the bag and said that her family Easter egged 5 families' houses. Excuse me, 6 families. Good correction there. Awesome. One of the ways that you can really love people, especially around your home, is to find ways to serve your family during this time. And that's one of the best ways that you can tell people that you love them, is by serving them, especially if you can do it in a way that you don't have to be asked to do it. That's an awesome thing to do for your family. Sarah says, you guys can probably read this, but she bought Easter flowers for her neighbors who are not Jesus followers and picked up 50 bags of mulch for her little sis. Man, I don't know if I could lift 50 bags of mulch in one effort, but way to go, Sarah. Daniel also ran his dog today, so serving the family by serving the dog. Mason, good job. Everybody seems to be enjoying the opportunity to serve their family by serving their dogs. That's really good. If you want to, hey, Kirsten sent me a text. She had to sew her bear back together. Oh, that's sad, Kirsten. Good thing you know how to sew. Probably home ec paying off for you there, huh? By the way, Kirsten celebrated her birthday last week. So if you want to riddle her with birthday text messages, even though it's a little bit late, her number is 763-670-4494. That's the only time I'm giving it out. But happy birthday, Kirsten. Dana helps Stacy around the house all the time, and Stacy served Danae by taking a glass shard out of Danae's heel. There must be a story around that one, but as I tend to have a problem with blood, I am not going to ask for the story. So I want to just share a couple things from Scripture to encourage you guys a little bit. And while I'm doing that, before we wrap up here, I'm going to be praying for us. And then you'll be going into your small groups over Zoom. But if you want to text... Oh, Kirsten says it wasn't her birthday. Oops. Happy birthday anyway, Kirsten. If you want to send some prayer requests, text them to me or whatever. I will include that as I pray for everybody and pray to wrap this up. But this week, we, as a church, we wrapped up the book of Mark, and it fit perfectly because the book of Mark ends with the resurrection, and yesterday was Resurrection Sunday. And so I want to read this real quick for you and just share with you 2 thoughts that really stood out to me that I think can be a challenge and an encouragement to everybody. So Jesus has died and he's been buried. And it says, Saturday evening when the Sabbath ended, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Salome, went out and purchased burial spices so they could anoint Jesus' body. Very early on Sunday morning, just at sunrise, they went to the tomb. On the way, they were asking each other, who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb? But as they arrived, they looked up and saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled aside. When they entered the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a white robe sitting on the right side. The women were shocked, but the angel said, Don't be alarmed. You're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He isn't here. He's risen from the dead. Look, this is where they laid his body. Now go and tell his disciples, including Peter, that Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there just as he told you before he died." The women fled from the tomb, trembling and bewildered, and they said nothing to anyone because they were too frightened. So there's just a couple things I want to draw out of that. First of all, the angel appears to them in this empty tomb. Jesus is gone. He's been raised from the dead, and he says, don't be alarmed, which is what angels have to say because they freak everybody out all the time. But he says, you're looking for Jesus of Nazareth who's crucified. He isn't here. He's risen from the dead. So explains what's going on. Look, this is where he's laid. He's gone. He was raised from the dead. Now go and tell his disciples, including Peter, that Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there just as he told you before he died. The angel says, here's the message from Jesus. And I want you to tell the disciples and make sure you tell Peter. First of all, it's really important that, and neat that he put it that way, because Peter had messed up big time. Peter had said he was always going to be loyal to Jesus, and within hours of saying that, he denied that he even knew who Jesus was. And so Peter probably felt like a total failure at this point. And so Jesus is kind of saying, hey, by the way, tell Peter I want to see him too. And so what he's doing is he's restoring him. He's showing him that he's going to get a new start. He's restoring the friendship. But then he says, tell them that Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. You'll see him there just as he told you before he died. Galilee was the place where they were all from. This story takes place in Jerusalem, which was the center of Jewish religious life and everything, kind of be like New York City in the United States or whatever. But he says, go to Galilee. Galilee was where they were all from. It's where they grew up. It's where Jesus had met them and called them to be his followers. It was where their everyday, ordinary life happened. It was where so many of the things that they experienced with Jesus had happened. And it was kind of like Jesus saying, go back to the place where it started, and I'm going to meet you there. And I'm going to meet you in this place where you live your life, where you experience your everyday life. And I'm going to refresh you. I'm going to give you a new start. I'm going to start putting you back together. And I think that's really awesome because so many times we're thinking, especially as teenagers, when I grow up, I'm going to go do this thing over here for Jesus. That's going to be awesome, and that's where I'm really going to discover. Or a lot of times too, we think that I'm going to go to camp, or I'm going to go to a conference, or I'm going to go to fall retreat or something like that. And when I'm there, then I'm going to meet with Jesus, and he's going to do some really big things in my life. But the angel is reminding us that where Jesus really wants to meet us is in everyday life, in your home, in your school, when you get to go to school again. If you work, wherever it is you work, wherever it is you are, that's where Jesus wants to meet you. He loves to meet you at those places like camp and at conferences and stuff like that. But he really is telling you, I want to meet you there. And I want you to let me renew you there. I want you to let me restore you there. And I want to use you there. The second thing is Mark ends this biography about Jesus really abruptly. He just ends it with this. The women fled from the tomb, trembling and bewildered, and they said nothing to anyone because they were too frightened. And that's the end. There's some stuff that's been added to it, but we're pretty sure Mark didn't write that. So why did he end it this way? Why did he end with them being afraid? Well, a couple things. First of all, we know that that's not really the way it ended, because if they had really been so afraid and never gotten over that they didn't tell anybody, we wouldn't be here. But we're here. So the reality is they went out and they told everybody. They told everybody they could. And it's kind of this challenge that Mark has for us. And this question he's asking us two questions. One, what are you going to do with Jesus? He's been asking that the whole time. Are you going to take Jesus, and are you going to live in fear? or are you going to live in faith? Are you going to step out and trust him, or are you going to be paralyzed by fear? And that looks like a lot of different things, but I think at its basic level, moment by moment, can we trust Jesus and be obedient because we know he's in control, he's good, he loves us, and everything's going to be okay. It might not be comfortable, it might be hard, there might be pain, there might be struggle, but he's with us. And because he's conquered sin and death, because he reigns over everything, we know somehow, some way it's going to be okay. And so for me, that's a question that I want to ask myself every day. Am I going to live today in faith, or am I going to live in fear? Am I going to be afraid of what other people think of me, or am I going to trust what Jesus thinks about me? Am I going to be afraid of what could happen to me, or am I going to trust that Jesus is in control, so he's got it? So those two things. Go to your Galilee. What's your Galilee? Go find Jesus there, because he's waiting for you. And second of all, are you going to live in faith or fear? And every time that we choose fear, we just feed the fear, and it makes it that much easier to let fear control us. Anytime we choose faith, we feed that, and it gets that much easier the next time to choose faith. So I want to encourage you with that. Also, just a little side note, Savannah, so far camp is still happening. We're going to decide at the end of May, so be praying about that. But camp, as of right now, is still happening. So that's good news, and that's something to pray about. For our small groups tonight, when you gather together on Zoom with your friends, right here, there it is. I got used to this. 1 Peter 1, verses 3 through 9. That's what you're going to be looking at together, and again, asking those questions. What does this tell us about who God is and what he does? What does this tell us about ourselves? Why do you think God does what he does and says what he says? Why do you think he'd want you to know that? And how is this going to help you in the next week? Lots of questions there, but you guys know this stuff. Stacy mentioned here, I'll say this before I pray, mentioned that Katie and Danae helped over 3 hours with yard work on Saturday. Way to go, Katie and Danae. And she says, prayer request, this is probably covers all of us too. Strength to endure mentally 3 more weeks for Dana and her to continue leading their girls well, and stuff like that. So let me pray for us, and then we'll sign out, and you can do your Zoom groups with 1 Peter 1, 3 through 9. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the time that we could spend together tonight. Thank you for each person that could be here, and just how awesome it is to know that we can still connect somehow, some way. And God, I pray that you would give us the strength to endure for the next however long this is, and not just endure, but thrive. I pray that you'd help us to love our families well. Pray that you'd help us to choose faith over fear every moment of every day. And for a lot of us right now, our Galilee is within the 4 walls of our houses, and so help us to seek you there and to find you there. I just pray for each one here, and I pray for our small groups, and just want to entrust them all to you. In your name, amen. Well, that's all we've got for this week, and so we'll see you guys again next week. Couple things. First of all, if you didn't see it, on our youth group Facebook page, there's a great little show Simon and I did called Zoom In. It's the first of hopefully many. We'll see how many we end up doing, but it's a good fun watch. We'll be back again next week, 7 o'clock. Don't forget, small groups next. Get in that Zoom call with your small group leaders. And hey, I love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys again. Catch you later.